1 minute ago, Prince William read a letter that was never meant to be touched, sealed, hidden and guarded for decades like a royal landmine. The moment his eyes hit the first line, his face drained of colour. This wasn't nostalgia. This was a warning. A confession. A map to a secret that could rip the monarchy in half, because Diana didn't just write to be remembered, she wrote to stop something. Before we go deeper into what this really means for the royal family, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single update. It begins in silence, the kind of silence that doesn't feel peaceful, but enforced. In this dramatized story, the letter isn't kept in a drawer or a dusty box. It's treated like a living threat, preserved under strict conditions, protected by procedure, and surrounded by rules designed to make sure it never meets the light at the wrong moment. That's what makes William's hands go cold as he holds it. Because he doesn't just feel like he's opening paper, he feels like he's crossing a line the palace drew decades ago. The line that separates grief from damage control. The first lines aren't poetic, they're precise. Diana writes as if she's already watched the future unfold, as if she knows exactly where the pressure points will be, exactly which bonds will be tested, exactly which faces will smile while turning the knife. William reads, and the shock hits in waves. Not because the letter is emotional, because it's strategic. It's a mother speaking like someone who learned too much, too fast, inside a place that punishes truth with isolation. And right there, between the careful sentences, she points toward a rupture with one name hovering beneath everything. Harry. Not as a side note, not as an afterthought, as the center of the storm. William's mind races ahead of his heartbeat. If this exists, it can leak. If it leaks, it won't just scar the family, it will become a weapon the world swings for sport. He scans the lines again, catching the coded phrases that don't fully accuse but heavily imply, deception inside the inner circle, truths disguised as tradition, loyalty demanded at the cost of honesty. Names are hinted, never fully spelled out, like Diana is writing around a danger she can't afford to summon directly. That restraint makes it worse, because it suggests she wasn't simply afraid of scandal, she was afraid of people. A trusted aide is nearby, close enough to see William's expression change, close enough to hear the shift in his breathing when a certain phrase lands. The aide doesn't speak at first, because this isn't the kind of moment you interrupt. But William looks up with eyes that don't match his face, sharp, urgent, almost defensive, and with one low command he makes the room smaller. No calls, no messages, no one else enters. Whatever this is, it stays here. The aide nods, but the fear lingers anyway, because the palace has a way of punishing those who witness too much. Then William sees it, a reference tucked into the letter like a hidden door. A second envelope, a proof kept far from the palace, far from the hands that can soften stories and erase details. Diana doesn't explain it fully, she doesn't need to. She writes like she knows William will understand the implication immediately. This secret isn't sealed with sentiment, it's sealed with leverage. And the moment William realizes that, his shock stops being personal. It becomes operational. Because now he isn't just reading Diana, he's reading a plan. His next move is instinctive, almost reckless. He requests an emergency private audience with the king, breaking protocol as if protocol suddenly doesn't matter. And maybe it doesn't. Because in the space of a single page, William has gone from heir with a schedule to a man holding a match over a room full of gas. He can already feel the palace closing in, not with questions, but with containment and invisible pressure that says, gently and firmly, put it back where it belongs. But William doesn't put it back. He keeps reading, even as the air turns heavy, even as the implications sharpen, even as one underlined sentence begins to rise off the paper like it's demanding to be heard. But as William reaches the final paragraph, he sees one sentence underlined twice, and it forces him to ask the question the palace fears most. The letter doesn't read like a mother's goodbye. It reads like a countdown. Diana's words are calm, too calm, like someone writing from the edge of a cliff. She doesn't beg, she instructs. She describes people in the household as if they're chess pieces, and she places Harry at the center of a future storm. Then she names a silent guardian who promised to protect him, and implies that guardian failed. The calmness is what makes it vicious. In this dramatized account, William expects emotion, something personal, something tender, something meant to heal. Instead, he gets a voice that sounds like it has already survived the worst part. Diana doesn't write like someone afraid of dying. She writes like someone afraid of being erased. The lines move with purpose, and as William reads, he feels the old grief twist into something unfamiliar, an anger that isn't loud, but sharp, because every sentence feels like it was crafted to outlast the palace itself. Diana positions Harry in a way that makes William's throat tighten. Not as the spare, not as the rebel, not as the headline magnate the world would later laugh at or condemn. She writes about him as a target of narrative control, a person the institution could shape when it needed a distraction, a pressure valve, a scapegoat for problems it refused to name. And the way she phrases it is worse than an accusation, it's a diagnosis. William can almost hear her implying that the palace doesn't simply respond to crises. It creates them, then chooses who will carry the blame. Then comes the machine. Not a person. Not one villain you can confront and defeat. Diana describes it like a living system: advisors, courtiers, image managers, polished mouths behind closed doors who don't just spin truth, they replace it. She warns William that the machine will smile in public and sharpen in private, and that it will always present its cruelty as duty. That word lands like a bruise. Duty. The same word William has been trained to worship. The same word that can be used like a halo or like handcuffs, depending on who holds it. A key line follows, and it hits harder because it's restrained. Diana implies she held knowledge that could change how the public understands Harry. She doesn't spell it out with fireworks. She doesn't need to. The implication alone is enough to make William's mind race. What kind of knowledge changes how the public understands a prince? Something about origin, yes, or purpose, or the story the palace decided to sell. Something that turns a lifetime of headlines into a constructed narrative. William reads that sentence twice, then a third time, because each reread feels like stepping deeper into a room he's not supposed to enter. And then the realization drops in slow motion. Diana expected the brothers to be pitted against each other, not by fate, not by personality, not by the inevitable tension of heir and spare, by design. She writes about tension being encouraged, about misunderstandings being fed, about loyalty being tested until it cracks. William feels the weight of it because he can see how easily it could be true in this story, how often, even now, distance becomes policy and silence becomes strategy. He thinks of all the moments he assumed were natural drift, and suddenly they look like guided steps. The letter tightens again, cold and direct, and that's when William reaches the chilling directive. If you read this, it means the trap worked. The sentence doesn't just suggest danger, it declares it. William's stomach turns because the wording implies that the trap wasn't set for Diana, it was set for the family, set for the future, set for the sons. And the most terrifying part is the implication that the trap didn't happen by accident. It was built. It was maintained. It was meant to be activated at the exact moment William is living through right now. Then comes the hidden clue, tucked inside the letter like a heartbeat under ribs, a date, a location, and a simple instruction: find the red file. It's so specific it feels physical. William can almost feel the file in his hands, even though it isn't there. And the phrase connected to Harry doesn't read like a casual reference, it reads like the center of the entire mechanism. William's thoughts spiral, because now the letter isn't just a warning, it's a route, a trail, a set of coordinates designed to lead him to something the palace couldn't destroy, because Diana kept it outside their reach. And that's where William's inner conflict truly begins. because this isn't just about protecting Harry from pain. It's about deciding whether Harry deserves the truth, even if the truth detonates everything William has sworn to defend. William can feel two loyalties in his chest pulling in opposite directions: the crown and the brother who has lived as the institution's most convenient story. He wants to believe the letter is only a mother's fear, but the more he reads, the more it feels like a mother's evidence. And just as William thinks the letter is only a warning, he finds a folded insert one extra page that turns the warning into an accusation. It's not just the letter, it's what's attached to it, an insert page, thinner, more clinical, like it was torn from a confidential file. One name is blacked out, another is half visible, smudged as if someone tried to erase it in a hurry. William's hands shake, not because it's emotional, but because it reads like proof. Then he notices something worse. The paper is marked with a symbol used for internal palace containment. For a few seconds, William doesn't breathe. He stares at the mark like it's staring back at him. Because in this dramatized world, that symbol isn't decoration, it's a warning. It means someone inside the system recognized danger and responded the only way the institution knows how, by sealing it, burying it, and pretending it never existed. The letter was one thing. A mother's words can be dismissed as grief, framed as fear, softened into sentiment, but this page feels engineered, processed, filed, weaponized. His eyes move down the insert slowly, like he's stepping across thin ice. The language is cold, official, carefully sanitized, and yet the meaning underneath it pulses with panic. It implies a past agreement made for stability, a compromise that traded truth for calm, reality for continuity. The phrase lands in William's chest like a fist. Stability is the palace's favorite prayer. It's the excuse that covers everything from silence to sacrifice. And the insert doesn't read like someone asking for stability. It reads like someone demanding it at any cost, even if that cost was Harry's entire life being lived under a curated story. William's mind snaps to the containment mark again, because he recognizes the bureaucratic fingerprints behind it. He knows which senior office would have the authority to label something this sensitive, who would have access, who would be trained to handle dangerous material with polite efficiency. That's when the fear changes shape. This isn't a mystery floating in the air. It has a chain of custody. It has an origin point. It has living gatekeepers who have been protecting it not because they loved Diana, not because they cared about the boys, but because the institution always protects itself first. Diana's wording on the insert is sharper than the letter's tone, like she's no longer writing around fear, she's writing through it. She hints that she confronted someone directly, and that after the confrontation, the situation was managed. That single word chills William more than any dramatic accusation could. Managed means controlled outcomes. Managed means narrative steering. Managed means the person who asked the question becomes the problem, not the people who caused the truth. William can feel the implication. Diana pushed, and the machine pushed back. Quietly. Systematically. In a way that leaves no bruises the public can photograph. Halfway down the page, there's a partial name-only fragments, as if someone tried to scrub it under pressure. It points toward an older figure, the kind of person who doesn't appear in headlines, but shapes history with whispered decisions. An aide. A physician. A private secretary. The kind of person whose signature can open doors and close mouths. William's eyes narrow because in this story, a person like that isn't just a bystander. They're a lever. They're the one who knows where the bodies are buried, and more importantly, who taught the palace how to bury them without leaving fingerprints. Then William sees the strangest detail of all. The insert page looks like it was never meant to exist outside a controlled environment. It's too clean, too specific, too carefully phrased to be accidental. And yet it's here, attached to Diana's letter like a hidden blade. Someone hid it intentionally. Someone Diana, or someone loyal to her wanted this page to survive the institution that would destroy it. William's throat tightens, because now the story isn't just that a secret was kept. The story is that a secret was fought over. That's when another thought hits him. Sharp and sickening. The letter may have been opened before. The insert page shows where in places the main letter doesn't. The fold lines don't match. The edges look handled. In this moment, William realizes the secret isn't dormant. It's active. It's been moving through hands. And if it's been moving, that means there are people out there who already know what he's just discovered and they've chosen not to tell him until now. That betrayal is quieter than shouting, but it's more poisonous because it suggests William has been living inside a controlled reality. He doesn't waste time debating what it means emotionally, because the danger is no longer theoretical. He gives the order immediate, non-negotiable for the palace archive access logs. Not a request. A command. Who touched the vault and when? Who signed in? Who overrode protocol? Who had the authority to be near this letter without William knowing? Every second that passes feels like someone else gaining distance, like the truth trying to slip away again. And as his aide moves to act, William feels the room tightening, because in this world, the palace doesn't react to secrets with honesty. It reacts with containment. And containment always notices when someone stops obeying. But William's attempt to track the vault access triggers a silent alarm of its own, because the moment he starts digging, someone else inside the palace starts moving. By nightfall, William isn't being called into a meeting, he's being contained. A senior figure arrives without notice. No press office, no security routine, just a quiet presence and a message. Stop. The conversation feels rehearsed, like they've practiced this moment for years. Then the line drops soft, almost polite. You shouldn't have opened that. And suddenly, William understands. This letter didn't just reveal a secret. It exposed who's been guarding it. The words hang between them like a verdict. The visitor doesn't raise their voice, doesn't need to. Power doesn't shout when it's certain it will be obeyed. They frame the entire situation as emotionally destabilizing, as if William has simply been swept away by memory and grief, as if the sharp fear in his eyes is just sentiment spilling over. But William doesn't flinch. He doesn't accept the soft dismissal. He pushes back, demanding one thing: who authorized the containment markings on the insert page, and why did it ever exist in the first place? Because grief doesn't come stamped, filed and processed. Grief doesn't get treated like a threat. The reply is smooth, almost bored, like the palace has been waiting for this exact question. The figure implies this was resolved long ago, quietly and properly, and warns William not to reopen what the institution already sealed. It's not a suggestion, it's a test. William can feel it. Obey the machine and the world keeps turning. Break it, and the machine turns on you. The ultimatum arrives in the same controlled tone. Hand over the letter, surrender the copy, let them secure the situation, or watch how quickly consequences ripple into his public duty, his schedule, his reputation, and the stability he's expected to embody. William's jaw tightens. He doesn't hand it over, not fully. He keeps his expression steady while his mind moves fast, because he's learned the palace's oldest lesson: never show your panic to the people who feed on it. He copies key lines, he captures what matters, he locks the evidence away from the hands trying to reclaim it. And when the visitor senses that William has chosen resistance, their politeness turns colder, more precise, as they end the meeting with a hint that lands like a threat dressed as advice. Harry can never see what you just read. The door closes. The air stays heavy. And for a moment, William stands perfectly still, feeling the truth of what just happened. This wasn't family. This wasn't concern. This was containment strategy. Because the letter isn't dangerous for what it says. It's dangerous for who it implicates. And now William knows something else too. The palace is not afraid of the secret. The palace is afraid of the brothers comparing notes. Then the phone rings. Once. Then again. Then a message appears, short, direct, and devastating. I know about the letter. It doesn't come from a journalist. It doesn't come from an aide. It comes from Harry. And in that moment, William realizes the palace's nightmare isn't the secret itself, it's what happens when Harry hears it first. Unfiltered, unprotected, and furious. Because if Harry believes the family hid a truth from him, he won't negotiate. He'll go to war. William calls back immediately. But Harry doesn't waste a second on politeness. He demands honesty with a voice that sounds like it's been held back for years. Did she write about me? Did she warn you about me? William tries to slow the moment down, tries to choose words that won't explode. But Harry hears the hesitation, and it sharpens the tension instantly. Years of distrust tighten around every syllable. And then Harry drops the detail that changes everything. He was tipped off by someone inside. Not an outsider, not the press. Someone within the system. Which means this isn't just leaking, it's being used. William's conflict hits like a crash. If he tells Harry, he risks tearing the institution open. If he stays silent, he confirms Harry's worst belief that the palace will always protect itself before it protects him. Harry's voice hardens. He says he'll release his own statement if William doesn't meet him privately. No handlers, no advisors, no filters. William agrees, but insists on conditions, desperate to keep it off record, desperate to keep it away from the very people who just tried to confiscate the truth. There's a pause on the line, long enough to feel like Harry is deciding whether William is brother or gatekeeper. Then Harry says it quiet, lethal, and certain. If it's about that, I already have the other piece. And with that single sentence, I already have the other piece, William realizes the letter wasn't one secret, it was a chain of secrets. And Harry is already holding a link. The second envelope isn't in the palace. It's not in a vault. It's not even in Britain. The message points to something deliberately out of reach, protected from royal control. And that's what terrifies William most. Because a truth the palace can't contain becomes a truth the world can consume. When William learns where the second envelope might be, he doesn't send staff. He doesn't call lawyers. He goes silent and moves like a man racing his own shadow. He keeps the details locked behind his teeth, because the moment he speaks the wrong name to the wrong person, the machine will swallow the trail and spit out a new story. The clue leads to a figure outside royal, commands someone whose loyalty was personal, not institutional. Someone who wouldn't bend when officials demanded compliance with a smile. William doesn't like how that feels. It means the truth was never meant to be handled. It was meant to be protected from handling. And the more he thinks about it, the more he understands the real danger. If an envelope was hidden beyond the palace's reach, it wasn't hidden from strangers, it was hidden from family. Then the red file enters his mind like a pulse. In whispers, in fragments, in half-finished sentences, it's described as more than paper, correspondence, a timeline, and one signature detail that can't be explained away as grief or rumor. William doesn't even know what that detail is yet, but he already feels its weight. The red file sounds like the kind of evidence that doesn't ask permission to be believed. It forces belief, and that's when a new dread tightens around his ribs, because he senses the second envelope may have already been accessed. Not years ago. Recently, fresh traces in the chain, recent contact. A sense that someone else has been walking this path just ahead of him, close enough to see the turns, close enough to erase footprints. He tries to reach for Harry, to stabilize what's left of trust before it collapses completely. But Harry's voice, when it comes, has a hard edge of control. Harry implies he has documents too, but refuses to show them until William admits what he read. It's not just anger, it's leverage. A boundary drawn in pain. William feels the contrast burn. He's trying to protect his brother from an explosion, while his brother is trying to stop being protected into silence. And hovering behind it all is the question neither of them wants to say out loud if there are documents in both their hands. Who else has copies? That's when the third party enters the story like a match near gasoline. A journalist. A legal representative. An insider with a clean suit and dirty, timing someone who doesn't want truth for healing, but truth for impact. William can feel factions forming in real time. One side wants the truth because they think it will set something right. One side wants chaos because chaos creates opportunity. And another side wants leverage, because leverage is the only currency that spends inside a palace built on silence. William's instincts scream for caution. But caution is a luxury you lose the moment you realize you're not the only one moving, and then the palace proves it. When institutions panic, they don't confess, they redirect. And the containment protocol isn't about hiding the truth, it's about shaping it. Suddenly, whispers appear in the press with suspicious precision. A new narrative spreads. William is overwhelmed. Harry is unstable. A legacy is being exploited. It's coordinated. It's surgical. And William realizes the palace isn't trying to protect the family anymore. It's trying to neutralize the brothers before they unite. Carefully planted headlines begin framing the entire situation as emotional speculation, positioning William as fragile and Harry as predictable. As if any truth Harry speaks must be revenge, and any silence William holds must be wisdom. Meanwhile, William feels the invisible walls closing in. Advisors tighten access. Schedules shift without explanation. Confidants get reassigned like pieces removed from a board. A trusted ally warns him in a low voice that he's being managed, that even his movements are being tracked not for safety, but for control. And when William tries to reclaim authority over his own decisions, he finds the system politely resisting him at every turn, as if the crown has decided his independence is the real threat. Then the pressure turns physical. The palace attempts to reclaim what started this through legal language, through security pretexts, through the quiet suggestion that certain materials must be placed where they belong. William hears the subtext clearly. Hand it over, and we will protect you. Keep it, and we will redefine you. He contemplates going public first, not because he craves spectacle, but because he can see the trap closing. If the palace controls the narrative before the evidence is found, then truth arrives already poisoned. But fear stops him. Not fear for himself. Fear that if he detonates this wrong, Harry becomes the casualty again, reduced to the role the institution always assigns him when it needs a villain. And just when William thinks it can't become more personal, a message arrives from someone claiming to have met Diana privately. 4 words that punch through every layer of strategy. You don't know the worst part. William's first instinct is to dismiss it as manipulation. His second instinct is worse, because it whispers that this might be the missing link between the red file and the second envelope. His hands go cold as he realizes what the palace has been doing all along, not just hiding a secret but controlling who gets to discover it, and when. He agrees to a secret meeting because he can't stand the idea that he's still being led by someone else's leash, and as he steps toward the rendezvous, he understands the true shape of the decision waiting for him, because whatever he hears next will force him to choose what he has avoided his entire life. And when William agrees to a secret meeting to hear the worst part, he walks into a revelation that forces the final choice: blood or crown. I can write this as a fictional, dramatized royal thriller script, not as a claim about real events. Here you go, paragraphs only, no headings, with your hook, escalating emotional stakes, and the exact end line you requested. The final line of Diana's sealed letter isn't sentimental, it's a trigger. It tells William exactly what to do if the palace tries to bury her truth down to the sequence, down to the person to trust, down to the one mistake he must never make. William realizes this isn't just about Harry. It's about the monarchy's future and whether the brothers will be destroyed separately or survive together. Because the moment William acts, someone will fall. For a long moment, William simply sits with that reality, feeling the weight of a choice he never asked to carry. The institution has always trained him to protect the crown first, to absorb pressure, to let personal emotion dissolve into duty. But the letter doesn't allow that escape. It pulls him into a dilemma with no clean outcome. If he protects the institution, he may betray the truth that Diana tried to preserve, and he may betray Harry, who has spent his life being managed, shaped, and blamed. Yet if he protects Harry completely, he risks turning the monarchy into an open wound that the world will tear at without mercy. Either way, something breaks. And William understands with a cold clarity that this is why the letter was sealed, not to hide words, to delay a decision. He moves fast, but not loudly. He doesn't consult aides. He doesn't request permission. He doesn't allow the palace to support him, because he knows what support looks like. In this place, it looks like control. He arranges a private meeting with Harry with zero oversight. No handlers, no advisors, no polished mediators trained to twist truth into public relations. Just two brothers in a room, stripped down to the one thing neither of them can delegate: trust. William chooses a time and a place that can't be intercepted easily, because even as he tries to do the right thing, he can feel the machine listening. When Harry arrives, the tension isn't dramatic at first. It's worse. It's quiet. It's years of swallowed suspicion, years of headlines and silences, years of pain packaged as protocol. Harry looks at William like he's already lost patience with gentle answers. William doesn't begin with excuses. He doesn't lecture. He simply admits the truth that matters most. There was a letter. It was sealed, and it said things that no one wanted him to read. That admission alone changes Harry's face, because it confirms what Harry has always feared, that information was withheld not to protect him, but to manage him. William reveals part of the letter enough to validate Harry's instincts, enough to make Harry's chest tighten with recognition, but not enough to hand him ammunition that could explode in the wrong hands. William chooses his lines carefully, not to manipulate Harry, but to keep Harry from becoming the next piece sacrificed for stability. Harry listens, and for a moment his anger isn't loud. It's focused. It's grieving. Then the rage rises anyway, because grief and rage are siblings in a story like this. Harry's voice breaks in the middle of a sentence, and when he finds it again, it lands like a verdict. They didn't just lie to the public, they lied to us. William flinches, because the words are too clean, too accurate, too impossible to argue with. And in that moment, something shifts between them. The brothers begin to see the pattern not as a personal feud, but as a mechanism that has fed on distance and misunderstanding. They realize the real enemy might not be each other, but the structure that profits when they're divided. A system that can control an heir through duty, and control a spare through narrative. A system that can survive scandal as long as it can choose who carries the damage. William feels sick, because he can suddenly map the years like a timeline of engineered pressure. And Harry feels something worse: validation, the kind that hurts because it proves you weren't paranoid. You were surrounded. Then comes the twist: Diana planted like a blade wrapped in velvet. The letter implies a deadline moment, not a metaphor. Not a poetic warning, a specific window when denial will become impossible, when the machine will move from shaping truth to erasing it. And William realizes that moment is approaching now. The signs have been there all along: the tightening control, the sudden leaks, the shifting schedules, the quiet pressure that says hand it over. This wasn't random chaos, it was preparation. Someone is closing the trap, and if William waits, he won't get to choose how the truth emerges. It will be released in the ugliest way, by the worst people, for the most poisonous reasons. So William makes his decision, not a public dramatic one, not yet, but an irreversible one. He begins preparing a statement, or a private legal move, something that creates a record the palace can't rewrite and can't quietly delete. He plans it with the precision of a man who knows hesitation is fatal. Harry watches him with a mix of fury and fragile hope, because hope is dangerous here, and yet it's the only thing that can keep them from falling back into the roles assigned to them. They're almost there, almost united, almost ready to end the silence on their own terms. And then the interruption hits. It's sudden, sharp, and perfectly timed, an urgent call, a disappearance. A surprise announcement that detonates through the inner circle before either brother can react. William's phone lights up. Harry's expression hardens. The room changes temperature. And William understands instantly that the machine has moved first. The deadline wasn't a warning. It was a countdown. He stares at the screen as if it's a weapon, because whatever comes next will decide whether this becomes a controlled confession or a royal catastrophe that burns everything in its path. And just when William thinks he's ready to end the silence, one last message arrives, 4 words that suggest Diana's truth was only the first layer. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you in next one.